My people, everywhere, bar. 68 years old British citizens has been unalive in Ghana. Tema. Ladies and gentlemen, this 68 years British citizen was in a bar, a beer bar. Ladies and gentlemen, having fun with some few friends. There, some gang, some group were on motorbike. 6 men were on motorbike. And arrived at where they were drinking. Ladies and gentlemen, they swept this British citizen phone from the phone. And they thief the phone. Ladies and gentlemen, the British citizen have never experienced such thing before. So he tried his possible best to grab his phone back. Ladies and gentlemen, there one of the gang, I think one of the gang members, come on chingom and popo this British citizen. Ladies and gentlemen, he was now rushed to the hospital, and ladies and gentlemen, he could not make it, meaning the man don't buy. Ladies and gentlemen, now let's dig into this matter inside. A Ghanaian can never ever do this, because these Ghanaian thieves, phone thieves, when they come and thief your phone, it's either they come with just common blade, and if you play stubborn, they will tell you leave it to give you small dents of mark, so you will leave it. Ladies and gentlemen, this one, they brought out chewing gum. This British citizen. Ladies and gentlemen, let's cast our mind back to a few incidents that happened in Hacho. There was a motor rider who was riding, and he was at least doing some overtaking with a Benz at Hacho. And his motor scratched the Benz a little bit. Ladies and gentlemen, this man came out of his Benz and brought out chewing gum. Ladies and gentlemen, this man was a Nigerian. He took the intervention of His Excellency Dr. Hassan Ayariga's driver to plead on behalf of this motor rider. If not, this Nigerian guy could have popped this Ghanaian motor rider just Hacho here. Now, we are in a country where foreigners can hold a chewing gum.
I will do Thanksgiving for this matter.
Light off. Light out. Foreigners can hold a chewing gum in this country. Ladies and gentlemen, what is all this? What is all this? What is actually all this? In this country, foreigner can hold a chewing gum in this country. Holding a chewing gum on who? on the citizens. If this thing continues, Ghanaians in London, if you don't put your mouth in this thing and this thing continues, one day, you will hear the British citizens will stand up and say, Ghana must go. And we know that is where you people find your daily bread, and also try and sponsor some of your relatives in Ghana here. If care is not taken, some other country people will destroy the name of Ghana in Ghana. And now, some countries will start rejecting us. Will start rejecting us. Yes. Yes. Still power to the nation.